Before you listen any further, let me tell you something that might sound unusual. God is not watching this video alone. He is right there with you, sitting beside you, touching your heart in ways you may have forgotten are possible. And if, even for a moment, you feel something awakening inside you, subscribe now, because God is bringing people together who need to walk this path side by side. Not as strangers, but as souls being restored by the same gentle hands. There are days when your soul becomes quiet, not peaceful quiet, but the kind of silence that comes after too many battles, too many disappointments, too much weight carried for too long. It is the silence of someone who has tried, and tried, and tried again. It is the silence of a person who doesn't know how to explain what hurts, not because the pain is small, but because it goes deeper than words know how to reach. Sometimes you don't cry because you're strong. You don't cry because you've cried so many times before that the tears learned the way back into your chest. And in that silence, you may wonder, God, do you still see me? But here is the truth. Your silence speaks louder in heaven than your loudest cries speak on earth. God sees every corner of what you feel. He sees the questions you never ask. He sees the fears you never share. And most of all, He sees how much you've been carrying alone. You've walked through seasons that no one fully understood. People saw your smile, but they didn't see the battles behind it. They saw your strength, but they never saw the nights you almost gave up. They saw your calm, but not the storms inside. You learned to hide your pain so well that even you started believing the disguise. But God never did. He knows the tears you wiped before anyone walked into the room. He knows the memories that still sting. He knows the scars that healed on the outside, but stayed open on the inside. And He has been whispering to your heart, even when you couldn't hear Him. Hold on, I am coming for you. This message is one of the ways He comes. Many people think God appears only in holy places, in churches, in celebrations, in moments of joy. But the truth is far deeper. God walks into hospital rooms. He enters empty kitchens. He visits lonely apartments. He stands by gravesides where hearts break quietly. He sits beside you at 2 a.m. when your thoughts won't let you sleep. God doesn't avoid the places where you hurt. He seeks them out. Your darkness does not intimidate the one who created light. Your weakness does not overwhelm the one who breathed strength into humanity. Your fear does not push away the one who holds the universe in His hands. He steps into your pain not as a distant king, but as a father who refuses to let his child suffer alone. God rarely arrives the way we expect. He doesn't always come with thunder, nor with grand miracles, nor with angels announcing His presence. Often, He comes quietly, softly, gently. He comes through a moment of calm in the middle of your anxiety. He comes through a memory you needed to remember. He comes through a word someone says without knowing why. He comes through strength you suddenly find when you thought you had none left. And sometimes, God comes through a video, one that reaches you at the exact moment your heart is ready to be held again. Nothing about this moment is accidental. Nothing about it is random. This exact second has been woven into your story long before you lived it. Life has ways of breaking us that we never expect. A sudden loss, a door that closes with no explanation, a betrayal we didn't see coming, a prayer that feels like it went unheard. But God is not afraid of broken things. He picks up the pieces with hands that know how to create galaxies. He rebuilds what was shattered with a tenderness that cannot be described. He restores what you thought was lost forever. And when He rebuilds you, He never puts the pieces back the same way. He makes you stronger. He makes you deeper. He makes you more compassionate. He makes you wiser. He makes you new. The version of you rising from this season will be one you never imagined possible. God's love is not like human love. It does not fade. It does not tire. It does not turn away when you fail. It does not hesitate when you stumble. It does not withdraw when you feel unworthy. His love does not depend on your performance. It depends on His character. And His character is unchanging. Even when you walked away, He stayed near. Even when you doubted Him, He believed in the future He wrote for you. Even when you hid your wounds, He saw them and carried what you could not. You have never lived a single day without being loved by God. Not one. Most people imagine God as someone who rescues, someone who fixes, someone who intervenes. But sometimes God does something even more intimate. He sits with you. Before He heals you, He sits with you in the pain. Before He restores you, He sits with you in the ruins. Before He lifts you, He sits with you when your strength has evaporated. Because God is not just the Savior of your life. He is the companion of your soul. He sits beside you when you don't know how to pray. He sits beside you when your heart feels numb. He sits beside you when you don't know what tomorrow holds. He sits beside you when all you have left is a whisper, "God, please stay." And He does. You may feel like you're in the middle of a chapter that doesn't make sense. You may feel stuck, exhausted, overwhelmed, confused, afraid of what comes next. But hear this with your heart. Your story is not finished. This moment, right now, is a turning point, not a dead end. God is not done writing. He is not done moving. He is not done shaping. He is not done speaking. He is not done healing. The season you're in is not a punishment. It's preparation. And soon, you will understand why. There comes a moment in every person's life when strength runs out. Your confidence fades. Your courage cracks. Your hope feels thin, like a thread ready to snap. It's the moment when your heart says, "I don't know how much longer I can do this." But that moment, the one that feels like the end of your capacity, is often the place where God begins a new work inside you. Not because you failed, but because you finally reach the place where you can stop relying on your own strength and fall into His. God never intended for you to carry everything alone. Your limits are not flaws. They are invitations. Invitations to lean on the God who never grows tired. Invitations to breathe in the presence of the One who holds the universe without strain. Invitations to rest in arms that do not release you when life becomes heavy. You have not reached the end. You've reached the point where divine strength meets human exhaustion. Some of the most important transformations in your life happen in the dark. Not the darkness of sin, but the darkness of uncertainty, waiting, and hidden battles. The kind of night where you lie awake staring at the ceiling, overthinking, second-guessing, wondering whether God hears the thoughts you're too tired to express. And yet, those nights shape you more than any celebration ever will. God does some of His deepest work in the silence of your questioning. He strengthens you in the tension. He matures you in the waiting. He teaches you to trust Him, not by removing the darkness, but by walking with you through it. When you look back later, you'll realize something profound. The nights that felt like your undoing were the very nights God was remaking you. Hope, in the hands of God, is not fragile. It doesn't flicker with every gust of wind. It doesn't dim just because your circumstances darken. Hope, the way God gives it, is steady, quiet, stubborn, unmoving. It's the gentle flame that refuses to go out, even when the world around you feels cold. You don't have to feel strong for God's hope to shine in you. You don't have to be overflowing with faith for Him to work. You don't have to understand the next step for Him to guide your path. Your job is simply this: don't blow out the candle. Don't stop believing, even if your belief feels small. God does not need a roaring fire. He can ignite transformation with one remaining spark. While you worry about outcomes, God is working in details you don't even see. While you're questioning what's next, He's aligning hearts, opening opportunities, shifting circumstances. While you're trying to hold everything together, He's preparing breakthroughs that will make the struggle worth it. God is not silent because He's absent. He is silent Because He's crafting something precise, something intentional, something beautiful. Think of a seed buried underground. It looks like nothing is happening. But growth is happening out of sight. This is you. This is your season. And God is cultivating something inside you that will bloom in its appointed time. You may not feel stronger right now. You may not notice any change. You may think you're stuck in the same emotional place. But spiritual growth often happens the same way a tree grows roots, deeply, quietly, invisibly. Only after the roots are strong does the tree reach toward the sky. God is deepening you before He elevates you. He is stabilizing your soul before He expands your purpose. He is strengthening your inner life before He showcases the outward miracle. There is nothing wasted in this season. Nothing pointless, nothing random. Not one tear, not one question, not one prayer, not one moment. Everything is preparing you for what's coming. Even when you don't feel Him, God is with you. Not figuratively, not poetically, literally. He is closer than the air you breathe, closer than your pulse, closer than your thoughts. And His presence doesn't depend on your spiritual performance. It doesn't come and go based on your emotions. It doesn't leave because you had a bad day or a moment of doubt. God doesn't love you conditionally. He loves you consistently. He doesn't measure your worth based on how many times you fell. He measures your worth by the price He paid to claim you as His. And the price He paid was everything. God knows the wound behind your anger, the wound beneath your fear, the wound beneath the quiet exhaustion, the wound behind every "I'm fine" you've ever spoken. He knows what happened. He knows when it happened. He knows how deeply it affected you. And He doesn't dismiss your pain. He doesn't tell you to move on or try harder. He doesn't rush your healing. Instead, He kneels beside your hurting soul and tends to the places no one else sees. He listens. He holds. He restores. Not superficially, not temporarily, but completely. If there is breath in your lungs, then there is purpose on your life. Your story is not ending here. Your heart is not staying in this valley. Your soul is not meant to remain in this heaviness. Something inside you is waking up. Something quiet but powerful. Something tender but unstoppable. Something sacred but fierce. The part of you that still believes, even after everything, is rising. Not suddenly, not explosively, but steadily. Heaven has begun a resurrection inside you. God never leads His children through darkness without giving them something on the other side. For some, it's wisdom. For others, it's strength. For others, compassion. For others, a new calling. But for you, there is something waiting that your heart will recognize instantly once you see it. A door, a healing, a reconciliation, a blessing, a purpose, a miracle. Nothing God takes you through ends in loss. It ends in greater life. You may not understand this season today, but someday you will thank Him for the way He carried you through it. There are storms you walk into, and storms you never saw coming. Some storms tear through your life without warning. An unexpected diagnosis, a relationship falling apart, a dream collapsing, a betrayal, a sudden loss. These storms take the air out of your lungs. They shake everything familiar. They force you into a battle you never prepared for. And in those moments, you may have wondered, where is God now? But it is precisely in these uninvited storms that God reveals who He truly is, not a distant observer, but a present protector. He doesn't watch you from the shoreline. He steps into the waves with you. He doesn't shout instructions from a distance. He holds your trembling hand through every crashing tide. He doesn't ask you to be strong. He becomes your strength. Look at Scripture. God's presence is most visible not in palaces, but in furnaces. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't meet God before the fire. They met Him inside it. Daniel didn't witness God's protection before the lions arrived. He witnessed it surrounded by them. The disciples didn't understand Jesus' authority over creation when the sea was calm. They understood it when a violent storm tried to swallow their boat. God has a pattern. He proves his nearness when everything else feels unstable. So if your life feels like a furnace right now, if it feels like you're surrounded by battles you can't fight alone, take heart. God is not missing. He is closer than every flame trying to consume you. And not a single fire you walk through will burn you when God walks in it with you. The tears you cried when no one was watching, God counted every one of them. The nights you couldn't sleep because your thoughts were too loud, He stayed awake with you. The heaviness you tried to hide so others wouldn't worry, He carried it with compassion. Nothing you have walked through has been ignored, and nothing you endured will be meaningless. Pain becomes purpose in God's hands. Loss becomes testimony. Wounds become wisdom. Shattered pieces become sacred stories. God does not waste seasons. He transforms them. And the pain that almost destroyed you will one day be the reason someone else finds hope. Sometimes life becomes blurry, not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You try to pray, but the words feel hollow. You try to worship, but your heart feels numb. You try to trust, but nothing makes sense. And in this confusion, you may feel distant from God. But understand this deeply. Your ability to sense God is not what determines His presence. His promise does. He said, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." Not, "I will stay only when you feel me." Feelings shift. God does not. Even when your vision clouds and your spirit dims and your strength fails, God sees you with absolute clarity, and He is holding you with unwavering love. Some people think they must burn with passion or confidence for God to move in their lives. But grace doesn't come for the impressive or the spiritually elite. Grace shows up when you're tired, when your faith feels fragile, when you don't know what to say, when your heart feels divided, when you don't feel holy enough to be loved by heaven. Grace meets you in the mess. Grace embraces you in the fog. Grace lifts you in the exhaustion. Grace rebuilds you in the aftermath of disappointment. Grace says, "You don't have to earn me. I came for you." God doesn't reject weakness. He restores it. Every great story has a moment where hope returns unexpectedly, not explosively, but quietly, softly, almost unnoticed at first. Sometimes it's a single moment, a breath that feels lighter than yesterday, a thought that brings peace instead of anxiety, a memory that doesn't hurt the way it used to, a whisper in the heart that says, "You're not done." These are not coincidences. They are signs. Signs that God is shifting the atmosphere around your life. Signs that grace is beginning to stir in your soul. Signs that what seemed permanent is about to change. Nothing stays dark forever when God decides to move. And He is moving, right now, in you. Pain changes the way we look at ourselves. It makes us feel smaller, less capable, less lovable, less worthy. But God sees you through a different lens. He sees who you are becoming, not just who you have been. He sees the courage you don't notice, the resilience you underestimate, the compassion shaped by your suffering, the wisdom carved through adversity, the strength forged in silence. You are more than the mistakes you made, more than the moments that broke you, more than the fear that whispers you won't make it. You are God's creation, fearfully, beautifully, intentionally designed, and nothing about you is an accident. What if this isn't the moment you fall apart? What if this is the moment you evolve? What if the pressure you feel is not a sign of failure, but a sign of transformation? Diamonds form under pressure. Seeds break open before they sprout. Caterpillars dissolve before they become butterflies. Dawn is darkest right before sunrise. Everything God creates goes through a moment that looks like breaking, but is actually becoming. And this moment in your life is not the end. It is the moment before the miracle. God is shaping you for something bigger than your current understanding can hold. You are not collapsing, you are changing. There comes a moment, quiet, almost imperceptible, when the heaviness you've carried for so long begins to loosen. It doesn't happen all at once. It begins with a breath that feels different, a thought that doesn't drain you, a morning that doesn't ache the way it did yesterday. That is God relieving the invisible burdens you were never meant to carry forever. He softens what life hardened. He heals what others ignored. He restores what you thought could never be rebuilt. And piece by piece, day by day, He begins the sacred work of making you whole again. Human love can inspire, but God's love transforms. It reaches into the deepest layers of your identity and rewrites the broken scripts you've been living under. You are not defined by the people who left, the seasons that wounded you, the failures that discouraged you, the mistakes that haunt you. You are defined by the one who formed you, the one who breathed life into you, the one who never stopped believing in the person you're becoming. God's love does not just comfort, it renovates. It rebuilds your expectations, it reshapes your confidence, it restores your courage, it revives your hope, and most beautifully, it prepares you for the future He designed long before your first breath. There are dreams you buried because disappointment convinced you they were impossible. Plans you abandoned because pain stole your motivation. Prayers you stopped praying because you felt unworthy to ask again. But hear this clearly. God did not forget what He promised you. Time does not cancel His will. Delay does not erase His purpose. Silence does not mean no. Closed doors do not signify the end. Sometimes God protects what's yours by postponing it until you are strong enough to receive it. You have not missed your moment. You have not fallen behind. You have not ruined your destiny. What God prepares for you cannot be stolen, cannot be rushed, cannot be canceled. It is waiting, and its arrival will make every painful step worth it. One day, sooner than you expect, you will look back on this season with understanding instead of confusion. You will see why certain things didn't work out. You will see why God removed certain people. You will see why He closed certain paths. You will see why He allowed certain storms, not to break you, but to prepare you. And when that day comes, your strength will be undeniable. Your peace will be unshakable. Your faith will be anchored. Your gratitude will overflow. Because the God who walked with you in the valley is the same God who will celebrate with you on the mountaintop. You will rise not by accident, not by luck, but by divine design. This part is important. Lean in. God does not call the flawless. He calls the willing. He calls the wounded. He calls the ones who have survived storms. He calls those who thought they had nothing left. Why? Because the ones who suffered deeply love deeply. They lead with compassion. They carry wisdom. They understand pain. They reflect God's kindness with authenticity. Your hurt did not disqualify you. Your past did not disqualify you. Your doubts did not disqualify you. Everything you've been through is shaping you into someone God can use to lift others who feel like you once felt. Your story will not end in pain. It will end in purpose. From this moment forward, you are not walking into uncertainty alone. God goes before you. He is already in your tomorrow, already clearing obstacles, already softening hearts, already opening doors, already making a way where you see none. When you step into the future, you will discover that God prepared the ground beneath your feet. Nothing ahead of you is unknown to Him. Nothing surprises Him. Nothing intimidates Him. You can walk forward with confidence because the one who leads you never makes mistakes. Your life is not spiraling. It is unfolding. And the chapter that is coming next will be full of color, clarity, and joy that no darkness can steal. God is not finished with you. He is only changing the direction of your story. There is healing coming. There is restoration coming. There is breakthrough coming. There is peace coming. There is purpose coming. There is renewal coming. And when it arrives, you will know, with absolute certainty, that God had his hands on your life the entire time. If you are listening to this, it is not coincidence, luck, or chance. It is calling. God is calling you back into his arms, not with guilt, not with pressure, not with judgment, but with tenderness, with patience, with open arms, with the same love that carried you through every hidden valley. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not overlooked. You are not replaceable. You are his, and he is with you today, tomorrow, and every breath after this one. Thank you, truly, for staying until the end of this message. It means your heart is searching, longing, listening. If this spoke to you, if you felt God bring even a small spark of peace into your chest, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and continue walking with us. We are building a space where faith grows gently, where weary souls find rest, and where God speaks through every story shared. Now, your journey doesn't end here. Choose one of the videos on your screen now. Let God continue speaking to you. Let your healing continue. Let your restoration unfold. You are not walking alone. Not anymore.